I'm gonna click
Are you on a
start.
laptop?
We've started, by the way.
Oh,
So, Liam, you can just
okay.
ramble and figure out what
Welcome back to the Off the Script podcast. Today we're joined by GB powerlifter Liam Turnbull and extremely impressive natural bodybuilder Khifie West. How's everybody doing?
Oh, thanks.
How you doing? You all good?
I'm personally very good.
Very good. How are you, Chris?
I am fucking fantastic because
I
I was
would be
really hungry and
better.
I just ate and now I'm full. So, I can't promise that I might not fall asleep.
Fair enough, mate. That's fine.
But we'll go with it.
I'd be better if I knew where the damn gallery view was.
It is literally
Yeah.
at the top right hand.
For listeners, Liam has been trying to find the gallery view button on Zoom for a while now.
He
Yep.
quits. It don't
40
matter.
minutes.
What's wrong with it?
He's stopped now. I'm sweating as fuck because I've had to run back. The train's delayed somehow, as if there's enough trains to be delayed at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm sweaty. It's gross, but we move, guys. Chris, how are you feeling now? Is prep started to kick in for you?
Good. We got obviously the news that the finals has been postponed for like another 4 or 5 weeks. So it means that right now I am like 14 and a half weeks out when originally I was 10 weeks out. So it is a bit of a jump and it did kind of get me thinking, but at the same time, it's just a kind of another way to obviously look at it that I've obviously got more time to get in better shape and at the same time, maybe keep my food a little bit higher because I've got that extra time, less cardio and stuff like that. But we've just got to kind of go with it. It's a situation that's out of our control. So
yeah, for sure. So you've been pretty positive about it, and you've just been like, "Hey, look, I've got basically more time. I'm ahead of the ball here."
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like I've been dieting now for a good few weeks anyway. So it's like I'm kind of in that bit now where it's just a case of like, I'm far enough into it to not want out of it. Yeah. And I'm far enough into it to stay with it, if you get me.
Yeah. Like it's too late now to just like go back, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Are you just for
Plus, you'd rather have too much time than not enough time at all.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Because then you would need to obviously aggressively go in harder and probably more chances of like dieting away tissue.
It's like if you've got that 5 weeks, it's like a buffer zone that you could have cleared up, or if not, you can just sort of enjoy it a bit more with higher food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that is like the biggest thing. I wish last year I started prep earlier. I wish I'd had more time.
You had a long prep though, Jermaine.
I know, I did, but I started off in a bad place to begin with. That's the biggest thing. Like I remember like you seeing me, Liam, and you're like, he's not going to be in shape. He's not going to be in shape.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Me and Tim were just sort of talking. You were posing and we were just looking at each other going, he's not going to make it. He's not going to make it. But to be fair, you were in similar body composition to me back then.
Yeah.
And I don't think I could have got as peeled as you.
I did pull out my arse a bit, quite literally. My glutes were just, they were.
But you had like a very, very long prep from what I believe anyway.
Almost 30 weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say it's high 20 weeks, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a long prep, including like the time between shows as well. But it was long. But I needed that time because I had like 50 plus pounds to pull off. So
it's a lot.
We got it. I definitely lost tissue though. So I think Chris is in a great place right now. If he's
well,
time to spare, he's got time to spare.
Was never too fat in the first place.
Yeah. What are your lifts at the moment, Chris? For everyone who's absolutely wondering and definitely clicked on the podcast for this,
they're still going up. That's the only way I can like leave it.
Yeah.
Well, it's this prep this year is like I've never documented a prep, so it's like I've always kind of kept that in the background, but documented obviously training. But this year, what I'm going to do is I'm going to document both. So I'm going to document obviously the prep side of things, physique updates, but also document the side of also getting much stronger even throughout a diet phase, because I know that on a few podcasts I got like the kind of call out that obviously people were like, oh, you know, it's not possible, this, that, and the next thing. Whereas because the past 2 years I've only documented one thing.
Yeah.
This year everything's going to kind of get like included in it. So
I think that I would have had a lot more of that sort of shit last year if I hadn't have been fairly consistent with showing progress. I posted like a physique update at least once a month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I'm just going to keep it to like maybe every 3 or 4 weeks, not weekly. I'll just kind of keep them to myself, but every 3 or 4 weeks, like boom, just drop a physique update. Sure. And
let's talk about sorry Bull, this is your first one, and we'll just talk about Chris so far. Let's talk about your like update picture you posted like this year to last year.
Yeah,
that is fucking crazy.
Thank you.
That is nuts. And you're not gonna like, I feel like you're not even gonna say that it's like, you know, crazy. You're just like, you know, you did the work at the end of the day. Like,
as it was everything that was kind of needing to be done was done. One of the biggest things that I was wanting to bring up, like, I still feel as if I'm too young to focus on just bringing one body part up, like focusing more on that rather than focusing on like everything. So everything did get focused on, but dominantly a lot of work got done to my chest, and dominantly a lot of work got done to like like adductors and that, you know what I mean, to bring them in. It was basically just to like cover up the thigh gap, you know what I mean? I didn't want a fucking thigh gap again. So
yeah, for sure.
That got done, and then obviously like a lot of dominantly chest work as well, but at the same time everything got brung up because things are still developing. So
you can see the amount of sort of energy you put into ensuring that all variables are being ticked. Just from watching one set, you can see how much you want it. And I think before I sort of knew you, you can tell what type of lifter or competitor, I should say, you are.
Yeah, for sure.
So there's no surprise in the transformation for me.
Yeah, I've got no doubt in my mind. Like when you see, I think that's the biggest like thing with people. People always see the pictures, and that's what gets the most like likes and comments and whatever. The people. Wow. And then people just completely skip over the videos because people have just fucking short attention spans.
Yeah.
I could post there's someone I know who like I'm around quite often in my life, and they were like, they saw me lean, like stage lean, and they were like, oh, you just like, you know, dieted down and worked out a bit to get like that. And then they saw me doing an actual set in person, and they were like, oh, fuck, that you look the way you do. Like, so there was like, there's a disparity there, right? Like, but like,
they don't see the in-between, they see the start and the end. And they always think that it's like, what did you take to get from the start to the end? It's never, how many hours did you put in ensuring that you didn't miss a meal, you didn't skip that. It's always sort of the tangible things, never the effort or work rate.
And also the kind of misunderstanding of what an off season really is. Like, off season, I've had a lot of people come up to me and be like, oh, so is that it, like time to like kind of take a back seat, or time to kind of take a month off of training and stuff like that? It's about time like more people understood that off season, like in reality for like natural athletes, an off season's where your progress is made, as in physique wise, you know what I mean?
For sure.
There's equal amount of work you have to put into an off season than an on season, so to speak. You still got to get your food, you still got to get your sleep, your training. It's the same variables, it's just monitored slightly differently.
Yeah, for sure. That's where, like, I remember last year I started saying this a lot off of the back of prep, and it sort of kept me more accountable post show, because obviously last year was my first prep, so in my head I was like, it could have gone that way for me. Just being like, oh, take my foot off the gas a bit. But at the time, I just sort of started telling myself, there is no off season. You're on season. You know, you're just doing something else. And that's sort of like the approach I think a lot of people should be taking.
Definitely.
So, Bull, where are you at with lifts and stuff? You started training an outdoor gym, yes?
Oh, what?
You started training at an outdoor gym, haven't you? Recently?
No.
Oh, have you not? Oh,
no.
I'm sure I saw a picture of you on Instagram the other day.
there's a local gym to me, Gym Unity, who I just get on really well with the owner. And so I sort of hop back and forth. I was there the other day because he had some like rubber mat flooring that he was getting rid of. And so I just went and picked it up for my home gym. But no, I'm training at my garage still.
Yeah. Are you going to just continue to train at your garage? Because you look pretty set up. You just have
I'm very set up in terms of sort of the power lift, so to speak. I can squat, I can bench, I can deadlift. I can do 80% of my accessory work. And so on that front, I'm covered. I do plan to go back into the gym just to have access to sort of people and monoliths and sort of that higher end of the equipment, but I'm not going to rush into it. So the gym's obviously open Saturday. I'm not going to go for the first of 2 or so weeks because I just want to it sounds a bit like, I don't know, but I just sort of want to give everyone else the opportunity to train first because I can train from home. And so I will continue to do so. They'll reach a point though where I can't walk the weight out anymore. I can't walk 300 kilos out. So I'm going to have to go and utilize like a monolift and have, for example, Beth, who I train with, wrap me. And training in the environment with other people who are like-minded. So, for example, Ross, one of the lifters I train with, he's got sort of a 410 kilo lifter squat coming in soon. And so to sort of be around that environment, it definitely improves sort of your approach to the session for sure.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%. I think that's why I just like training. Like, I like going back home towards Sheffield and Rotherham. Obviously, I love the gyms around Birmingham, excluding one gym, which we'll come to later. I like most gyms around Birmingham, but I do love going back home and like going to like gyms around there and going to Ultraflex, like, you know, and just being in that environment's just sick. Like,
it so happens that you live so close to one of arguably the best gyms in the UK.
I know, yeah, it's pretty all right.
I mean, the closest gym for me, beyond sort of Claymore that we spoke about the other day and Gym Unity, I would have to travel sort of 40 minutes to get into Birmingham to train at Ultimate or Central Fitness.
Yeah, for sure. I think at the minute, my setup is going to be when I start back this weekend is first day back, all I'm doing is cardio because it's a rest day and I can't be bothered to switch around my program just to train, you know, whatever. I'll wait a few days before I train legs, like in that kind of gym. But I'm just going back doing some cross training or something, just doing some light CV that day because I know it's just going to be too busy. I'm not going to be able to touch any dumbbells in there because it'll be packed.
Well, that's it, yeah. I think what I meant earlier as well, like one, I want to give other people the opportunity, as I've said, and will be that nice guy. But the realistic as well, I don't want to get involved and be surrounded by loads of people who are just trying to like, how long have you got on the equipment? How long? It's like, I'm going to be here for as long as I want to be. Yeah, and for me, a squat session is like, if any powerlifter is watching, they'll know it is hours on a squat rack. And it's quite selfish to take up a normal gym squat rack for 3 hours. So I'll just stick and do it at home where I'm going to get no bother from anyone but the dog.
Yeah. When are you going to start actually going back into gyms, guys? Like, are we going to start back straight away this weekend or what's the plan?
Scotland's not actually got a date yet. Like, we're, I don't think gyms will open in Scotland till maybe mid-August or something like that. We're like the kind of last behind it all. And they're saying that they're trying to I believe they're trying to get schools back full time before like gyms open. Like Scotland's gone crazy about it. It's madness, but what can you do?
You want to do whatever you want to do to be different.
You know what I mean?
Are you so Chris, you're still like obviously in the setup where you can just train and carry on as you were, so is there, do you really feel like there's a need right now for you to have like any other gyms open or?
Nah, see, to be honest, like outside of like where I train now, there is only one other place.
Yeah.
And it's just a leisure centre, so it's not like a bodybuilding gym or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? I've never had that environment. The closest bodybuilding gym to me is probably about, I don't know, 120 mile away or something like that. So
yeah, okay.
That's why
you said to me, go on, Chris.
No, sorry, what did you say?
I just said, because Sully said to me about how I'm so kitted out, but I mean, you're me plus more, aren't you?
Pretty much.
It's like, see, at the same time, like, it'll never draw me to using just like machines. Do you know what I mean? Wherever I find myself, even if I travel, like, I done the furthest I've probably done is the trip down to Durham, and do you know what I mean? Like, I went down to Durham and found myself straight away on a barbell. Like, I never went straight away to like a fucking fancy machine that turns me upside down when I use it. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's never going to be like that. It's always just kind of resorting to what I know.
I was speaking to I can't remember who it was the other day. I think it was Jack Bennett. He's another junior competitor who I competed last year, and he's got like some solid like leg progression just from having a barbell and just doing the basic movements. Like, you know, you don't need a Cybex hack squat. You don't need an Atlantis hack squat. You don't need a pendulum, you know, to grow your legs. So yeah, for sure.
Definitely. It's
I'm relatively similar to you on that front as well.
What's that, Liam?
I just said I'm relatively similar to Chris on that front as well. Like, all of my sort of muscular progression has majority just come from squat, bench, and deadlift, and then sort of accessory, so to speak, barbell exercises such as rows or RDL.
Yeah.
I won't do any sort of complicated isolations or anything. I'll enjoy myself on a lat pull down or the more sort of common machinery, but I'm relatively similar as well on that front.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of training, Liam, how excited are you for our session when we're back in gyms? I can't wait.
It'd be good. I've never trained with a female. I don't think.
This is a good time to actually announce it because she's actually dropped a question as well. We're going to have a session with Caitlin, so that's going to be.
I think she'll proper beat us both.
I think so. I've seen her train before. I was in the gym I was training at Ultra, training legs there when she was training with AJ when AJ pulled and she pulled like, I think I saw her pull like 140, and I was just like, the fact that this girl at the time, I think she was 17, I was just like, what the fuck? Like, it just doesn't make sense in my head.
She's doing like 160 for fives now or something like that.
Yeah, which is nuts. That's what I was doing.
She is the female Khifie.
Madness.
Yeah, she is.
We're going to train at some point. That is
sure.
That's going to happen. Goodness knows whenever this kind of gets back to a bit of normality, but we are going to train at some point. So
yeah, I'd love, one of the things that me and Joe were talking about the other day is how we'd love to get in a session at some point with every single guest that we've had on so far. That would be like a long-term goal for us to like go train with you, go train with Liam, Caitlin, even Jamie, the Giant, whoever, like Cuba, whatever. Like, we just want to train with people because that'll be something that'll be fun. And like, obviously, you know, to an extent, you can't do that every single week, obviously. Just fuck up your programming, but like once in a while, just to train with someone and like have them beast you on something. I think that's like, you know, that'd be cool.
You can learn a lot from training with someone.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Like I always find, like when I train with you, Liam, a lot, when I think I was still 18 or was I 19? I can't remember when. When I first met you, basically. We sort of trained, but we fucked around a bit, but because like obviously you're a powerlifter, it became very competitive from like so like there's that.
And if you look through like the YouTube videos we've done together, they're rarely sort of, I mean, there are a couple, but they're majority just sort of who can lift the most, which is irrelevant, but it was what we enjoyed, so we did it. And as well, this was like what, a year and a half, 2 years ago. Like, they go back a while.
And the thing is, though, like being in that environment, that definitely helped because I remember, I think at the time I think I'd like pinged my chest or something like 3 or 4 months before we did that like pressing challenge or whatever. The one where you made me drink the fucking disgusting vomit cocktail. that you and Tim made, where you put like your toenail clippings and shit in it. Shut up. But when we did that, like, there was no way in hell, without being in that training environment, I was gonna like do like, what did I do, like 15 reps or something with 100 kilos at the time. Like, outside of that environment,
yeah, you pressed like one.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna bench 100 kilos for 15 reps unless I was like, training with you. So I think it is like super important to like get out of your comfort zone a bit.
It's funny because our sessions would be like, we'd go in and then like I'd be like, right, let's squat, because it's all like all I know how to do. And then we'd go and squat, and I'd like, I'd obviously out squat you by a good amount, and then you'd move on to like the next like portion of the workout where it's like, X bodybuilding and sort of exercises, and I can't even keep up with like your warm-up sets.
Yeah, the accumulated volume that we do in sessions as bodybuilders, like Liam just can't relate to that at all. So I just can't. Where were we training? I think it was Ironworks, where we trained legs and then you threw up afterwards on the pavement.
Mate, that I watched that video. I sent it into the chat not long back. I puked like multiple times throughout the session, lying on a hamstring curl, just going bleh. And then afterwards, outside the petrol station, Tim was filming me, and I was just repeatedly being sick. But I learned a lot. I learned sort of, so to speak, how to train. Like, I hate this sort of like train for bodybuilding or train for powerlifting. I think they're mutually like, I think they're mutual, but
yeah.
Like, I learned more of the bodybuilding style, so to speak, with the high volume approach.
I think as well with you that, like, I think those sessions we had early on where it was just me, you and Tim, we'd all started uni roughly the same time. And we were just training, and we'd do fuck about sessions sometimes. That kind of taught, I think, intensity. Like that gave us, I think, a new level of intensity. Like, there was no way up until that point I would have gone under 160 kgs at the time, I think it was, and tried to do that, and then go and do hack squat, and then go do like a Widowmaker on leg curls or something ridiculous like that. So
yeah,
that
but
big impact.
It was good, man. We got Tim squatting like 200 high bar. Like, for a 6'3" guy who does not do the lift, like, that's incredibly strong.
That is incredibly strong, yeah. But I
think if you had to say bodybuilder who I trained like, it would be the other guest on this podcast, though.
Who's that?
Khifie.
Of course, yeah. I thought he was going. I thought, Chris, you were meant to say your name there. Yeah, Chris, we chose. I think I wanted Liam and you on at the same time because you are both ridiculously fucking strong, which is like, I think is very cool. So you both can relate to that level. Would you ever do powerlifting, Chris?
Would I?
Yeah.
I don't really have much of an interest in it.
That's fucking crazy to me.
That is bananas. The potential. It doesn't care.
That's insane. Yeah. So you'd never do it for the shits and gigs.
250 pounds shredded and being like bodybuilding.
I would probably just be doing it for like another title to put in my Instagram bio.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't get anywhere near the clout that being shredded on a bodybuilding stage does, though.
I would need to, like, I don't know. I would need to source a show, and it's not like the doing it that is like not interesting me. It's the finding everything out about it, as in like finding a show, like where it's going to be, what time it's going to be at, that kind of stuff. Whatever I need to get for that show, if I need to get anything, or I can literally just turn up on the day.
Yeah.
And
like it sounds. So you basically would do it spontaneously and not put much effort into it.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's crazy.
I think you'd enjoy it. It being on the platform's a good feeling, but it's like I'm quite not necessarily scared, but I don't have a massive desire to stand on stage in pants, but I'm gonna do it just because I want to experience it. And I think experiencing powerlifting, I mean, I think you certainly have to specialize in one, but there's nothing wrong with experiencing both. I think it will teach you a lot as a lifter. in general.
So
it's something to consider.
What are you saying, Chris?
I also wouldn't want to train for it.
Yeah, the training's very, very different, and I think coming from an approach that you've got, you'd find it quite sort of boring. I will be in the gym for sort of 3+ hours, and I'll have done 3 exercises, 9 sets tops.
See, like where my strengths at in that, I don't feel that, like, don't know how to explain it. I don't feel as if I would need to dedicate my full week to a powerlifting week, as in like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, squat, bench, and deadlift. If you get me.
I think for you, the only thing you have to do is be familiar with sort of competition standard of lifts. So, for example, like being familiar with what depth is on squat, how long you pause for on bench, etc. It's not the strength or sort of anything like that that would cause any concern for you. It's just not fucking it up on the day from a technicality, I think.
The rule would have to be like only hard base playing the entire time at the powerlifting meet. Otherwise Chris won't lift.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe never say never.
Yeah, I think you should. I think at some point you'll probably end up doing it, but obviously, you've got huge goals in bodybuilding.
I'll need somebody to like source all the details for me, so I don't need to do that.
You need a secretary for powerlifting.
Pretty much.
Do you want to know one thing I would say though?
Tell me.
If you want to be an excellent bodybuilder, don't waste time powerlifting.
See, if I'm honest, I probably wouldn't. I don't know. Like even with bodybuilding, don't get me wrong, bodybuilding's a massive.
Would you rather be a?
What's that?
Sorry, say that again.
You can either be a good bodybuilder and a good powerlifter, or you can be excellent at one. And for me, I think you've got to really specialize and put 100% effort into one. For me, I want to compete in bodybuilding for the experience. I know it's going to be suboptimal for powerlifting, but there's many people who have done it. Are you guys familiar with Chris Pugh?
I'm not, no. No,
he's a British lifter. I mean, he's an insane lifter, but he's only 82 kilos and he's squatting sort of 350 plus. But he's also shredded and has competed relatively decent standard in bodybuilding, and he looks awesome. And to me, that's the goal: be good at both. It's an appealing thing for me.
I think it's as well. Obviously, there's a level of clout that will come with you squatting a ridiculous amount of weight and being shredded at the same time.
I couldn't be shredded.
I think you will be when you compete. Trust me. You'll
well, of course I'll be when I compete. I mean, during my bodybuilding prep, I won't be squatting heavy anyway.
Why not?
I just think.
Why not?
Well,
why
not? I'm not going to say to you, Chris, but.
Right bag.
I don't
know about it.
Yeah, I think you'll probably carry on your powerlifting itch while you're.
I love it. I love it so much that I'd struggle not to.
Yeah, exactly. I think
the way you guys feel about bodybuilding is how I feel about powerlifting.
Yeah.
What do you, what do you feel has built the tissue that you've got now?
What you'll agree with, the sort of basic barbell exercises.
So why would you eliminate them during a prep when you're dieting?
The injury risk, I think, of being lean.
But what else is what's gonna keep them? What's gonna keep the tissue that's been built with your basic moves?
Well, the high food.
What happens when it comes to near the end of a prep?
To an extent, the barbell exercises, I'm going to eliminate the sort of top singles that Jermaine's talking about.
What belt it keeps it?
I'm not going to be pushing for a 1-rep max.
I feel like, Liam, to an extent, you're going to have to be the guy and does triples, Liam. I think you're going to have to do that at some point. In prep, I think you're going to have to be like Chris. You're going to have to walk in the gym and do those lower rep ranges. I think it's going to have to happen.
Yeah, I struggle not to. I can't do sort of low reps. I mean, can't do sort of high rep sets. on sort of the SBD and anyway. I struggle really. I would never want to go above 10. I'll do 20s occasionally as just sort of a supplementary exercise, but I'd never do it as my primary focus for the day.
Yeah. So you do metabolic work though, basically. So you do like you train arms, for example, and you work in those high rep ranges, right?
So if I'm training arms, you asking me what rep range I train in?
Yeah. Like
so,
for accessory movements.
So any sort of non-powerlifting related exercise, it will be sort of double-digit reps, just because it's what I enjoy. I'm not trying to be the most optimal bodybuilder, and so I sort of do have an element of what I enjoy, and that is that.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think I really want to see you compete now, Liam. You bring this up occasionally, yeah. You bring it up occasionally, and I'm like, I really want to see what your erectors would look like when you're peeled.
I 100% am going to compete in bodybuilding. Most likely.
Compete?
What?
Where are you going to compete?
PCA probably.
Have you got any shows in?
I don't even know what category I'd be. I think probably open.
Yeah, I think you'd be in bodybuilding. Yeah, you could do juniors. Do junior bodybuilding.
Yeah. Well, I've only just turned 20, so I've got sort of 3 years to figure it out. I'm actually speaking currently with Tim. I'm sending him over some photos tomorrow morning of how I look, just so he can sort of.
Well. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I'll put them in the chat, just so you can identify. I mean, as Khifie says, I'm not old enough to have to micro focus where I'm building tissue, but if he can identify any major weaknesses that sort of get left out with the training that I'm currently doing, to add in order to be a better bodybuilder long term, so to speak. But it is something I'm going to do as a junior.
The only thing I can think of off the top of my head with you, Liam, is when you hit a back lat spread or a couple of different back poses, you have a tendency to, I think one of your shoulders locks or is slightly frozen. So one shoulder dips slightly. I don't know if you've, but that is.
I'm never put any focus on posing.
Yeah, I know. The one time I feel like you've done it was when, was it? I think we were in Emporium training, and then you discovered you actually had really thick hamstrings at that point.
That was at your flat.
Oh, was that at my flat? Oh, it was, wasn't it? Yeah, it was my flat. You were just like fucking about in the mirror while we had.
I was just doing typical like side. What's it called? Side chest, isn't it?
Yeah. That's it.
And then you were like, put your hamstring up your leg, which now makes a lot of sense. And I did it, and I was like, wow, actually, you have a hamstring.
I think it's going to be cool seeing how you learn how to pose. Because I feel.
Yeah, well, if I'm going to compete in bodybuilding, I've got to sort of practice these things soon, because you can't be posing well in 2-3 months, can you?
You can progress a lot, but you're not going to be perfect, I don't think.
Yeah, well, if I'm going to do it, mate, I don't plan to compete in bodybuilding for the rest of my life. I want to do it like a couple times and do it as well as I possibly can. Yeah. So I'll apply the same level of energy that I do to powerlifting to bodybuilding, I'm sure.
For sure.
And I mean, I do have a passion for it in a sense. Like, it does intrigue me. It's not something that I'm like, oh, boring. Like, it does get my attention, but just not as much as powerlifting.
Yeah. Let's move on to something that we mentioned earlier. What are your thoughts on Emporium, Jim?
I seen most of it this morning, and like I was just kind of mostly there for the comments, because some of them were quite savage, some of them were like really, really, really fucking deep, but I'd see that they're not getting back to anybody. Which, like, not that they need to explain themselves, because obviously nobody really needs to explain themselves, but at the end of the day, like, you would think there would be some sort of, like, response to the amount of shit that they've got, or even, like, I actually had visions of them deleting the post, but I believe it's still up.
Let me check. I don't know.
Excuse me for being, so fucking quiet. I'm just completely fucked today. They've changed the price now.
Oh wow, yeah, 56 minutes ago, guys, they changed the pricing.
No way.
Yeah.
Right. So the new price, they posted a meme. Okay. So
the meme is wrong.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's even worse then.
Right, any listeners?
And you know the car swerving.
Well, yeah, the wrong fucking way.
So they've done the swerve, and the new structure is it's £40 a month.
Yeah, but the swerve is going the wrong way.
It is. The meme's wrong.
£40 going from 150 to 40.
Yeah.
Where's the? I don't get it.
The landlord must have changed the rent price.
Luke Vernon?
Huh?
Have any of you guys seen Luke Vernon's story? This guy.
No.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I mean,
I don't really want to get involved with slagging off Emporium because they've been very, very good to me. You know that, Jermaine. And it's not right. It's not
me too. In the past, they have been good.
It's not fair for me to slag them off, but I have to say Luke's story made me cackle.
Yeah, I reposted it when I saw it because I just couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it.
You're just more intrigued in their logic than what's actually happening.
I want to know. I want to know what the board meeting was. I want to know when they were all on the table what they were thinking. Like what was going through their heads at the time.
Were they not also one of the places that were like charging stupid amounts for kit?
Yeah. They have a track record. They have a track record. So
of what? Track record of what? Being robbing cunts. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think as well because I'm so I've not really too much to do with it because I'm obviously so far away from it. So the reality is there's 99% chance I won't be training there just because of how far I am away from it.
Yeah.
And if I was going to make like a full day's worth of traveling to Birmingham, probably wouldn't train there. So
where would you train?
Wouldn't bother with the trip.
Probably go to Ultimate.
Yeah, you go Ultimate.
Wise decision. It's a good gym.
Yeah.
I've seen quite a lot of people's stuff from Ultimate and it looks really good. Plus, at the same time, if I was going to do a trip, I'm basically having to travel anywhere to train at a decent gym. So if I was going to travel far, I would go to somewhere like Rotherham and do a good few days at it rather than a kind of 1 day.
I think Ultimate's great, but Khifie, if I was you, I wouldn't do 2 additional hours to go Ultimate over Ultraflex.
Oh no, I would never do that. But if I was going to go to Birmingham, I would go to
Ultimate. Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, you may disagree. I enjoyed Ironworks. I think it has a good atmosphere.
I was actually speaking to Rod about this the other day, who's our mate. Shout out to you, Rod. You probably were listening while doing cardio or something. And he was saying when he starts back, he's gonna he's like a fair bit of distance away from every gym in Birmingham. So, but he's decided that he wanted to go to like a hardcore gritty gym. So he said Ironworks, and I can't call him for that.
Nice.
Huh?
Good leg, very good leg kit there.
Yeah, 100%. I said to him that what I'll probably end up doing is I'll train my pull, push, and my accessory days at Ultimate or at home, and then I'll do my leg days at Ironworks probably with him. I think that might be the move.
I'll be doing legs at Temple, I think.
Yeah, I know a lot of. I think Tim said he was going to do that. Tim and Robbie as well.
Yeah, that's another one. That's another one that I would like to.
Where was that? I mean,
Temple.
The new one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing in comparison to the other ones, but the kit's the same. So.
Yeah, I like the environment in there. I like it in there. It's good.
It's fucking roasting in there though.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I like it. It's good.
Plenty of thermogenesis on prep.
Oh yeah,
that's what you want.
Absolutely.
Like doing cardio and stuff. Yeah, no, I think I'll probably when I start back, I'll just take advantage of the fact gyms are open. So I'll probably train within reason a couple of different gyms.
Ready for the road trip, Jermaine?
I'll come train with you, Liam, soon. I know we talked about that the other day. I'll come up to your ends and train with you, and then we'll be going to Rotherham, and then I want to go to. Me and Joe were talking about going down to London as well to train with Louis, who's one of the guests we've had on here. So we might train at King's or Muscleworks or Orpington.
I want to train at Muscleworks. I've trained at King's a couple of times. I like King's. I want to go to Muscleworks.
Muscleworks is from what I've seen. I mean, we've all seen like the James Hollingshead, Luke Sando training videos, Orpington. So I feel like going through that door, like going in there, you're gonna just want to train hard just because of the company there, right? So that's good.
I would love to train at King's, definitely.
Yeah, it's a cool gym.
Yeah, if you think about it, there's so many good gyms available all over the country.
Yeah.
I could the top 5, but I could also list the top 40 that are all very, very good gyms.
Mm-hmm. One of my favorites.
Even between you, we live like 40 minutes away from each other right now, and there are countless good gyms between me and Birmingham.
Yeah, for sure. Birmingham is like a good little hub for like fitness and bodybuilding and powerlifting, I think. Have you been to Ultraflex Rotherham before? You have, haven't you?
Me?
Yeah. Have you been to Ultraflex Rotherham?
I think I've been like 6 times.
Oh, okay. You've been a bunch of times. So like you're set up there because they've got like the whole powerlifting end of that.
Well, they've got the monolift, but do you know what, mate? The mono ain't no use unless you've got people. Like I had Cuba undo the arm for me the one time. I went over to the desk and was like, "Hi, come with me to the other side of the gym," and he just followed me over, and then he unwound the arm and walked off. Like it's a pain. So when I went there, I made use of the kit really, and there's a couple of machines I really, really like. The I don't know the specific name of the kit, but like the seated and the lion presses and stuff, I really enjoy them.
I know which one you're on about. The light. It's like a plate loaded press, isn't it?
I can press a lot more on them than I can press on any other machine.
I know, yeah. I went on that when I trained with AJ in like I think December, January, and I put on 4 plates aside, and it like moved. I was like, oh, what the fuck? This is surprising for me. So
I have really, really small shoulders. They've always been a weak point, but I remember I put on 5 plates on the one by the changing rooms, that seated press.
Oh, the overhead press.
The funky 3 grip, I think. And I pressed 5 plates aside on that, and like I've never been able to press anything like that ever before. So yeah, when you do well on a machine, you have a good attachment to it, don't you?
I feel like the machines at Ultraflex, even though the plates feel heavy as fuck, they feel a lot heavier than most plates do. Because like cast iron plates.
You know what it is? It's probably just actually 20 because they're nice plates. Most gyms have got like chip crushed plates that weigh like 18.
Yeah, for sure. When I trained, I think I did on the same machine. I did like, I think I posted a video of me doing 4 plates with a spot, and it just makes you look fucking sick. Just makes you look like you can actually train with some fucking heavy weight. What, Liam?
Chris, what gyms have you been to in the UK?
I have actually only been to Durham's Ultraflex, and then
not a bad one.
Sorry,
not a bad one gym to choose.
That's it.
I'm trying to think where else have I been. I've been to Durham, and the rest have been like in Scotland. So like one of the main ones is Future Fitness in Glasgow. It's like got a proper like it's like 2 levels upstairs, like the kind of main reception bit and that, and they've got like Cybex kit and stuff like that, and obviously your kind of more kind of functional kit, and then downstairs they've got like a proper like a hammer strength suite. So like it's just like it's like a bodybuilder's kind of dreamland kind of place. It's perfect, but like I said, it's the same. It's not really around the corner, but they're the kind of only 2 that like I've not been to that many gyms. But
it's
like
crazy. Count on your hand how many gyms you've been to.
I could probably only count like 2.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know what though? I feel like
Sully. If I tried to, me and you have been to more gyms like to train together than that.
I've been to gyms abroad, mate. I've been to a house in New York. Like, I've been.
What's the best you've been to?
Huh?
Best gym you've ever been to?
Oh, best gym I've been
worldwide.
To. Yeah, definitely Powerhouse, New York, in Long Island.
Mine has to be.
To be where?
Gold's.
Oh, Gold's Gym. Yeah, I get, like, whenever I see like you post pictures of that, I always forget that you've trained at Gold's Gym, which is really.
Yeah, I mean, I could have trained at Gold's like loads, but me being me, I went to like Barbell Brigade and Zoo Culture and places like that. But Gold's was just, I think it's just sort of being at Gold's that makes it the best experience than anything.
Was it like walking through because like at Powerhouse, when you walk through the entrance of Powerhouse, you're flanked by pictures that are like one-of-a-kind pictures of Arnold and like Franco.
Yeah.
Bodybuilding and powerlifting legends going back to like the 60s as you walk through the entrance. Is it like that at Gold as well? I
mean, I was fortunate enough to do 4 sets of incline with Thor, so that was where my attention was.
Insane. That's insane. I love the picture as well, because you're like a little kid stood next to him like this. Like, he's like up here.
He just like 6 foot and I still look fine. But that was great. I was sat there just on the incline bench, and I turned round, and this guy's suitcase was bigger than me, and he just went, basically, have you got any sets left? And I was like, yeah, sure, mate, carry on, move. And he went, no, you can train with. Like, did the sets with. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
That was, so I filmed that one.
That was like me when I trained when I was training at Powerhouse, and like, I remember it was really weird, really surreal experience. I went in. This is the first time I went into Powerhouse. I walked through the door, like, bought my day pass. The receptionist there is an IFBB pro as well. Like, everyone in there's a pro. And walked there, and then I walked in, and then right behind me, who else than Ryan Terry walks in. So I go to American Gym, and I find a British pro. So like I ended up like working him, doing some arm sets with him, and like, yeah, it was cool. Really.
Do you remember, Jermaine, were you with me at that time at Emporium where Julian Smith was just doing some push downs?
No, I remember you telling me about that, because it was the same body power. I think it was the same body power that I pulled my trousers down to get a leg shot with him in public.
I don't know.
It was like,
I don't know, but like the gym was dead.
Yeah.
No idea. But it wasn't like your typical body power when there's like multiple different sort of famous, so to speak, people dotted around. This was like the middle of the night, typical time that we train, and he was just there on his own in the corner. It's like, enjoy yourself, mate.
His legs in real life are scary.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous, like seeing that guy's legs in person, because they're just so fun.
I mean, you pulling trousers, take a photo of legs with him just kind of sums you up as a person, I think. Like, that is the main.
That is me pulling my pants down in public, literally.
Yeah.
What was that?
Didn't you say you had a question?
What?
Didn't you say you had a question from Caitlin?
Oh yeah, we'll get to some questions now while we're here. Let's get the questions out of the way. So let's have a look. Got some good ones here. So Caitlin, she was the first one to pop a question. What numbers is the ball gonna hit 6th of August? What's gonna happen going down, Liam?
I think that considering what I didn't get a single say in what the exercises were, probably nothing fun.
Well, no, we're doing deadlifts, aren't we? Or that's on rotation for that, because we're doing a pull session.
Sure, I won't be, or if I am, nothing sort of heavy. I mean, I'm not a good deadlifter anyway. I don't see the point in aggravating my injury just for the sake of training with you guys. So I will.
Have we lost him? We might have lost Liam.
I think he's gone.
He's done at you, Chris.
Oh, for God's sake. Just leave.
Maybe not so heavy with the deadlift part.
Oh,
Is he back?
Liam.
No, fucking hell, finished. Gone.
Sake, that's it.
It's the curse of Khifie West.
Yeah, it's Khifie curse.
This
real.
it must be like the exact same time.
Yeah,
it was.
Like, towards the for fuck's sake, right? Move on to the next one till he's resurrected.
Hang on. I had a question for Khifie last time before he was on. Like, what kind of bodybuilders do you look up to? Like certain names and things like that.
Dorian Yates, Anthony Bales, Leroy Davis.
Good ones, all good.
Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
Jermaine.
The blush. Stop it.
So, and then obviously, like Dallas McCarver was like one of the biggest ones.
Same.
Simply just for like an age thing, and because he was so big. Work ethic was quite similar to the likes of your kind of Yates style. Do you know what I mean? He always kind of he was always doing like, he was always favouring like his big kind of heavy moves. He was always taking things like mainly as many reps as he can. There was never kind of anything left. So it was like a lot of respect for more the kind of ethic side, but at the same time because of how young he was. But Yates will always be the top, like sure. Regardless, come 10, 20 years, I'll probably still be watching. You know what I mean? Like,
I completely agree with that.
Yeah, Chris, have you ever like queued to meet him in person?
Have I ever?
Like, have you ever met him in person?
No.
It's Dorian.
I had chills. Like,
what? Who, Dorian?
Yeah.
It's alright. I'd have a cup of tea with him next week.
It was just like, it is like, it was like, I remember I met Dallas. I remember meeting Dallas when I was like, I think I was 17.
Yeah, I met Dallas in like 2017 down at Body Power, and then within 2 or 3 weeks, that was it.
Oh, we would have been in the same fucking queue then. So, probably. Yeah, because was it on the day where, because Callum Von Moger had a booth next to him.
Yeah.
He just didn't turn up.
Mm-hmm. There was a big queue.
Yeah. There was a big, and he just didn't end up turning up. It was kind of bullshit. And then Dallas was there. He had like a smaller queue because he was an up and coming guy, and he was there. Like, you know, he had his like phone or laptop or something. I remember him just replying to emails and like making texts and phone calls and doing business meetings. Basically, He was meeting fans, and that's like the image in my head I have of Dallas is like just a guy who was like fucking working like really, really hard, but still putting in every ounce of his time for fans, which is really cool.
For you, Liam, obviously it's nice to have you back, by the way.
Yeah, welcome back.
Because powerlifting is like solely a performance sport, is your inspiration for the sport like hitting certain numbers, or are there certain individuals you look up to as well within the sport?
It's a mixture of both. I think there's wanting to be the strongest, which sort of everyone can relate to. So like, I want to lift more than obviously the next guy, but at the same time, there are people I look up to for sure. Stan Efferdin. I think the reason I look up to Stan so much, I mean, Jermaine, you know, I'm quite good mates with Stan, but
yeah,
I look up to Stan very much because he has that balance that I want between the two sports. But powerlifting alone, I think the likes of sort of Dan Green and sort of those more West Side kind of people I look up to a lot more nowadays.
Yeah,
I can appreciate anyone.
Chill, to be fair.
What?
Yeah. I said Dan's really fucking chill, to be fair. I don't know if you've ever had the chance to speak to him.
No.
But he just seems stoned all the time. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Liam, I feel
if
like...
you guys watch West Side versus the World, that is like sort of the pinnacle, I think.
Yeah. That has you written all over it.
Yeah, that's my side of powerlifting for sure. But I don't know. Yeah, that is, you're
right. We've already answered this one. It was, when is Chris doing a powerlifting meet? Possibly never. One from Sam Bennett, Barbarian Bennett. Do you think you could be a IFBB pro? This goes for both of you guys.
Yes.
I agree. Liam?
I mean, it's not something that I've considered, no, I have to admit.
Okay.
Probably because I don't have sort of the dedication to the sport that Chris has. Obviously, never say never. I could next week turn my focus fully onto it and do well, but to be honest, it's not actually a goal of mine. It's just not.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's fair enough. We've got
going back, Joe. Joe, you said what was the goal? I think it's more numbers than people for me. I have numbers in my head which I want to hit. The two most obvious ones are a 400 kilo squat and a 1,000 kilo total, which I believe both to be very attainable in my career. And so for me, that's where the main drive is, getting closer and closer. I think with powerlifting being so much numbers related, there's a very addictive nature to it, wanting that number to be ever increasing.
Yeah.
I think that can apply to bodybuilding as well. Obviously, a lot of people are into their logbooks heavy, and like that's where that comes from.
And rightly so.
The idea of goal setting, like it's just a short-term goal to beat.
Yeah.
Well, progressive overload is one of the best techniques for sort of growth in both aspects, and so to not have that addictive nature and track numbers is a weakness.
Yeah, it's almost it's a bit criminal. We've got another one. Would you try strongman?
I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd jump in before you guys say anything. I fucking would.
Probably not.
I grew up watching on the TV. Yeah. The one guy I always think of is fucking Pudzianowski, because that dude was a beast. Like, Jesus Christ. He was like the best of both worlds, man. The guy was like fucking 5% body fat and deadlifting like 25 fucking kegs of alcohol. Yeah. It's crazy.
What about you, Chris?
I probably would.
I'd give it a go. At least give it a go. For sure.
I remember when I was back at college, a kid in the younger, like the year below, he did strongman in like the local level.
Yeah.
And so he used to put videos on his Instagram and shit, like moving massive stone balls and moving this from this. It's just fucking cool. Like, I just think it was something good to do. So
I think out of all the sports that we're talking about, like powerlifting, bodybuilding, whatever, strongman is the most fucking manly, testosterone-filled sport.
Yeah.
Fucking nuts, definitely. Like some of the shit they do.
Oh yeah,
like
it's crazy.
You've got like the big power lifts that they do as well, but like throwing like a giant bale of sand or whatever over a giant net or what, like some of the shit they do. I don't know how they come up with it. It's crazy. Yeah, it's super impressive. Like that's the one sport that I watch in my downtime, even though it's not my sport. So
it's this strongman still, because I think for me, I wouldn't compete competitively.
I think I agree with that.
I'm 5'8". I know there is sort of categories, but I'm not like a strongman build.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
What did Khifie say? I was curious, but I couldn't hear.
Yeah, I would do it.
Oh, you're still here? I thought you left. Yeah, you would. Competitively.
I think like the same as well. Like obviously, I'm like closer to the kind of 5'7", so it's like.
Yeah. There is a way you feel about it.
I think what it'll come down to a lot of it is crossover for the sport. So like, obviously we're all like super fast twitch muscle fibers, like just, a lot of power movements, lifting heavy loads, whatever. But then like, how functional is powerlifting and how functional is bodybuilding?
I think powerlifting isn't all that functional.
I'd agree.
If you look at me, the perfect example is what we spoke about earlier, Sully. You put me on another range of motion that I'm not familiar with, that isn't sort of a straight up and down movement pattern. I'm a bit shaky. I mean, I obviously have a relatively decent amount of strength attributed from that, but it's not like a strongman carries over to most exercises. If you're good at strongman, you're good at most tasks in life, if you see what I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, Khifie, question I had. Do you think that our height massively helps sort of with our lifts?
I mean, like, I don't know. You could argue that you've not got as far to travel with most things. But then again, you could be like our height and have like the arms of somebody that's like 10 foot tall. Do you know what I mean?
It's dependent on limb length for sure.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it's leverages more than height itself, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like you can have like fucking really short legs and really long arms.
Yeah.
Or it could be the other way around, and you could still be like 5'5".
Yeah.
Because for
long
your
arms will help you with the
frame,
deadlift. Short legs will help you with the squat. Like there are, leverages that will massively attribute to sort of your progression of a lift. My short leg for sure is one of the reasons I have got a much better squat than like a deadlift, for example.
Yeah. Favorite accessory exercise for bench?
Bench.
Dips.
Yeah. Probably something like that.
I quite like dips. I do.
I think just bench.
That's
More
not an
bench.
option. It's an
More
accessory,
bench.
Liam. It's an accessory.
Good accessory work for bench. I see what your logic is.
For fuck's sake. Right. Next question. Yeah, Liam, what was going through your mind before the 300 squat?
I don't know. Just don't embarrass yourself.
That's probably.
I made a point of sort of sharing the goal I had, because then I had the accountability factor of shit, I've got to do it. So I guess that, but I don't know. I mean, for the 300 squat, I was actually nervous. So one of the wraps messed up, and Beth, my rapper we spoke about earlier, she had to run into the next room to go and roll it again. But the timer had started for my lift. So I was like, I'm not going to have time. Yeah. So that was what was on my mind. But I'd go from that question and say, likewise with Khifie, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's 305 for a top deadlift, right? Chris? Yeah. So what was going through your mind?
That's like, I don't know. I'm like kind of one of them kind of, I don't know. It's too, I feel it's too hard to explain. It's like, it's just, whenever a deadlift compared to anything else, like the odd time if I've done like a heavy single or double in a squat or something like that, but it's always different. Like deadlifts are, whenever it goes to like the top end set on a deadlift, especially if it's between like 1 and 3 reps, 1 and 4 reps, I know it's going to be like stupidly heavy. It's going to be stupidly sore. It's going to be, it's a case of like we spoke about on the last time I was on this podcast, was like the music beforehand as well. There's like, I have like a song and then I have the main song that I'll lift to, and it's like the video from like the main song and then the stuff that goes through my head before that set, that's probably only in my head for like maybe the max of like 20 seconds off from rep 1 to the finish. It's like, it's like the only way you can put it is it's just not nice.
Yeah, it's just nasty shit.
There are mental cues. Like, for example, you hear that song. I'm going to presume, Chris, that you don't listen to that when you're at home. So when you play that song, it's like, it's go time. Like, it has, you can relate that song with sort of top set deadlift, for example. Yeah. See, for me, you'll notice if you watch my Instagram, no top set sounds the same. It's like random songs. And for music isn't that important for me. So long that I'm enjoying the music and I'm having a good time in the gym, it's irrelevant what specific song. Yeah. For me, I don't really like clock on what's happening when I'm in that sort of top end. When you watch bodybuilders on Instagram, they're like shouting in between. They're going like, yeah, and all like, I'm just like silent, shut up and do it. I'm there with the bar. I can't hear anyone. I can't really see what's happening. Like, it's just, you just do. I don't know.
That would like ruin your bus. Can you imagine if you just started like fucking buddying like Ronnie Coleman, right?
I don't have, like, when you've got like almost 4 times body weight on your back, it's very hard to like be talking and breathing because it's just crushing you. So if you lose that tightness and get sort of, what's the word, like just crushed, I guess, under the bar, good luck to you with that.
Yeah, that's wild. Like, that is one goal. We talking about accountability. I may as well say this now. One of my goals for the end of this year is to get a single with 300. That's probably
on deadlift.
Yeah, that's out there. That is out.
The end of the year.
Yeah.
Jeez, big ask.
So, yeah. So that's going to be adding potentially, theoretically, about 80 kg onto my dead. I did, before lockdown, I did 210 for a single, which I felt at the time like I could have just gone for reps.
What I will say,
super creatine, do you mean?
Huh?
Have you got plans to add in the super creatine?
Yeah, the super creatine, man, that'll do it.
What I would say is that deadlift doesn't progress like other exercises, and to expect 90 kilos is a big ask of yourself, especially from sort of a natural bodybuilder. Now, I know Chris will argue that it doesn't mean shit, but like, you're obviously not as you're not going to have the benefit of being on PEDs. You're not going to have the benefit of dedicating your full week to getting stronger. It's a big ask. I mean, if you pull that off, Jesus Christ.
That's why I wanted to say it now, because now the pressure's on. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, any powerlifter will be chuffed with 90 kilos in a year, half a year.
The reason why, to an extent, is because obviously I've seen Khifie. Chris is only a year older than me, right? So he's still a junior. So in my head, him, Adam Powell, like all these people that are like the top tier of, you know, my division. That's like, you know, I've got to fucking chase that. Do you know what I mean? That's sort of where my headspace is at right now.
Well, to be fair, Khifie is the perfect example of it can be done.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people will say like, oh, I could never squat 300 natural. I mean, lift 300 natural. Khifie is the perfect example. I could never look like that natural. He's the perfect example.
Also, I feel like it's a bit of a vendetta for me for deadlift, because I pulled 180 the first time when I was 17 or 18. I think I was 18. That was the first time I pulled 180. And then obviously I dislocated my ankle. So I still think, coming off of the back of that, I feel like I am still behind the ball a bit in terms of progression. So at the minute, I've been on, like, this year, obviously all the bullshit with COVID aside, like, I've been on a roll at the minute with deadlift variations. So that's something I want to, you know, keep going with.
They're definitely sort of important for building sort of like back density.
Yeah.
I don't want to act like I know the ins and outs of sort of what you need as a bodybuilder, but it will definitely help on that front.
Yeah, for sure. That was one of the things that really stuck with me, I think, last year, because one of the big issues I had last year on stage was, obviously, one, I'm just too small. I just need to grow everywhere. Like, I'm still like Khifie as well. I don't have any specific body part that's, like, you know, lagging. Maybe my calves. But apart from that, there's not like a lot that I'm, like, you know, struggling for, except for just size in general. And one thing that I just, like, has been stuck in my head is just, I just want to dominate from the back. Like, if the thing I want is, I want to have a just ridiculous density in my back. Because, you know, obviously I'm very glute dominant. I don't know if you could tell. So like I think last year, one of my big issues was that everything else from the rear kind of looked smaller because I had the glutes, but I didn't have calves. I didn't have much back width or thickness. So yeah, that's something I do want to bring up for sure. I'm chasing that 300. Fingers crossed.
Right, that would be stupid.
Yeah, that would.
2018, I think it was. Like, nearer the kind of back at it, but that was when I ended up with, like, the sciatica. So I had to, like, pull from most, like, kind of like hip hinge variations for, like, quite a while on, like, decent sized, like, decent sets, because of obviously the sciatica fucked me up that badly. But it was between, like, I think the back end of August till it would have been January 2019. So what are you talking, like 5-6 months or something like that? Yeah. I went from 220 to 300. So
it's absolutely doable. I forget, Jermaine, I forget the date, but it's only just over a year since I squatted 225 with you at Ironworks and Tim, and it was like 9 months out from my 300.
Yeah.
So it is 100% doable, but it will be extremely impressive. Hey, Khifie, I had a question about your deadlift. So you pull from the floor and then you sort of touch and go, I think it's called. Is that just a method of sort of minimizing fatigue, or do you think it's helped you build your deadlift, or what?
I think it's helped me build my deadlift, but at the same time, it's like I would rather do. I'm more of a fan of doing a set between, say, like 1 and 6 to 8 reps, rather than always just focusing on like doing a 1 rep. But that's simply because I'm a bodybuilder. But I've got nothing against doing singles. Like, you'll always see me do singles, but at the same time, if it ever, like, on days that I'll do singles, I'll also do like a down set, not that much, like maybe 20-30% less, so not like that much. And then obviously I'll be looking for, say, between like 1 and 8 reps or something like that. But it totally depends. Like, most of the time, if I'm doing like a touch and go set, it's because I want to beat like what I've got before. So like, I've done like, say, like a set of 2. I've done 290 for a double, and then I got it for a triple. So I mean, the next day I was gonna get 4 reps, and again it was touch and go. But I feel that being really strong at touch and go and like a dead stop, do you know what I mean, is a bit more than just being strong at like one or the other. Obviously,
I think with touch and go, you can really emphasize sort of a hip hinge. With dead stop, there's a big tendency to drop the bar, and obviously that you lose tightness. You have to reset.
Like dead stop, you're going back to the initial starting point. Do you know what I mean? So it's like you are going back to reset point to go again. So it's like, as much as you've got like your kind of feeler rep out the way, and your second rep, like, depends how much the first rep's fucked you, but your second rep is, you've got a feeling of that weight, you know what I mean? So the initial pull's probably going to be better. You're going to be positioned again. They've both got their place. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, for sure. They do.
Yeah,
definitely.
any other questions? What else we got?
From me?
Anyone?
I had a couple. My phone died. See if it's got charged.
For fuck's sake.
Hey, Khifie, I like how we're both repping too.
Yeah, is this coordinated? Did you guys plan this?
Yeah, we had a little mothers meeting before and we planned. You were like, I'll go in the jumper.
Fuck's sake.
Show off the whole fucking range. Yeah.
I know, literally. He's got shorts on, got socks on.
I've actually got joggers on.
Yeah. I had joggers on all day too. Oh,
they're grey joggers, boy.
Oh, I had the black ones.
Oh, very nice. All kitted out. Shout out to Strength Shop. Yeah, you got any, Liam?
The question is, which discount code would you use? Would you plug?
Oh, fuck off.
Get my one up on the screen, like right here. Like,
yeah, and then switch that one like over to that side, and then put mine in the center.
I'd compromise. Just wouldn't use any.
That's fair enough then.
I can't choose like that, guys.
This was actually a good one. It's not really like important or anything, but I thought I liked it. Favorite bagel topping?
Oh,
it's a good question.
Peanut butter.
Yeah, peanut butter.
But the bagel's got to be toasted.
Yeah.
I've never tried peanut butter, so I don't know.
You like jam, don't you, Liam?
Huh?
You like jam, don't you, Liam?
I like jam. For me, mine's Biscoff. I'm majorly allergic to peanut butter, so I can't try, but Biscoff is
that's true.
Oh,
Biscoff is good. What?
Or just butter.
Yeah, that's all right.
Butter and
a nice
butter,
cinnamon.
If you want to be a really fat bastard, use both. It's incredible.
What, butter or Biscoff?
No, butter and peanut butter.
No. I can try butter and Biscoff.
Yeah, try that. Salty and sweet, yeah.
Yeah, get the cows in. Liam.
Try.
The worst, Chris, I have a question for you. Did you ever have anything post-show at the end of your season which was just horrifically like cheat day, like bullshit, like post-show snacks? Like,
I always craved like white chocolate. So the go-to was always like white chocolate cookies, Milky Bar, like Smarty Milky Bar buttons. It was always like white chocolate Buenos and stuff like that. Kinder is
Kinder's king.
Then like you know the cereal Frosties?
You love your cereal. Yeah.
Oh,
Frosties, man.
that was.
And then he passes out in the coma, and that's it. He's done. Yeah, no. My last year, I had the Nando's 2-person platter, which that sounds boring, but at the time, it was like that was the closest thing was a Nando's. So
Man, you didn't really care.
What do you mean?
Like, you didn't really care that much about the food post show, did you?
Oh, well, it was kind of like a weird thing where I was talking about this to someone the other day, how I could have very easily just sunken into my prep mindset and gone, oh, I'll just have like a chicken breast fillet with multigrain salad and leafy greens. Do you know what I mean? Like that in my head, that's what I was like. I was like, oh, I'll have this. But then I remember like Tim and who else was there? Cam and Tom were just like, nah, you order something bigger, like go all out. We're at Nando's anyway. It's not like crazy calorific.
It's not that bad, no.
Yeah, so I ordered 2-person platter.
A lot of people go massively overboard for no reason.
Well,
I mean, I can't relate,
yeah.
but
I had that when I got home. I had a donut. And then
I have that every day.
And then I had a Biscoff donut, which was really good, to be fair. And then before I passed, after that I passed out in the food coma for 3 hours. Woke up at like 8 p.m. that evening. Was like, oh, I fancy an orange juice. Like just Mojo, and they were kind of boring. When
did it have bits in it?
No, I had like smooth, just smooth over.
Oh, fuck off.
Oh, leave me be. It's a post-show thing.
You have a meringue as well.
Fuck off. So then I had OJ. I drank like 3 or 4 sips of it, didn't even finish it. And then because obviously I've been dieting for 30 plus weeks, it kicked in and my stomach cramped and I couldn't physically stomach anything after that. So yeah, it was kind of underwhelming.
It's funny because in powerlifting, our post competition meals is like nothing. We're like, thank God I ain't got to eat.
Yeah, trust. Yeah, I bet.
I won't have anything after a carb. Well, depends. Like it depends.
What about that one time where you had to drop weight, Liam?
At one time, I haven't had a competition where I haven't been too fat. I've been too fat every time. But there was that one. It was the British Championships last year. Yeah. I remember I competed in the 82s and I was 93 on holiday. I was like, Lord. And I got back and I put Tim in my car for a drive from Birmingham, like North Birmingham to Bristol on full heat, no windows, 4 jumpers. But no, to be fair, I haven't had a competition where I haven't made weight. Like I somehow always pull it off.
I don't know how you made weight for that one.
No, I dropped 11 kilos in 2 weeks.
I remember that. I was like, how?
I mean, bless Tim. Tim did me a water cut, and it went really well.
You did an MMA fight at water cut. It's nuts, like what you did. And then,
I did it extremely a lot of weight.
And then what actually ended up happening at that meet? How did you do?
That was when I broke the world record.
Exactly. Well, what the fuck?
But it was probably because I weighed I was like a 100 kilo lifter on the platform. That's the benefit of 24-hour weigh-ins, and that's why a lot of the drug-free IPF guys sort of discredit a lot of the non-tested lifters because we have this 24-hour weigh-in.
Yeah, for sure.
Is that a big thing in powerlifting?
What?
Is the divide between natural and non-natural a big thing in powerlifting? Because I think that's sort of gone away with the majority of bodybuilders.
Yeah, a lot of people, I'll stress first and foremost that 95% of the IPF I get on really well with, but there are some people who are just in this mindset where you're a cheat and all this, and there is quite a divide. Yeah, for me, it's my view is that if you want to be a powerlifter, surely your goal is to have the most weight on the bar. And so excluding the use of performance enhancing drugs, to use knee wraps, a monolift, a slightly higher depth, that's all just something that you can do to lift more weight. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. But yeah, there is quite a lot of it's quite tense between the two federations.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I say two.
Right, guys, should we finish up? It is 10 o'clock. I know Chris would love to sleep and potentially eat.
We're going to go get more food.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to say, to be honest, like I
need to
cleared
eat
off
as well.
a steak and rice 5 minutes before we went on, and I need another one.
Yeah.
I'm completely fucked. I've got like, I don't know if you can see, I've got like burst fucking blood vessels under my eyes and shit as well.
Have you noticed mine? Where am I looking? Mine have been really bad the whole time.
Yeah. Fucking hell. Yeah, we're all a bit ruined now. I'm fucking gross because my sweat has dried on me. Like,
how long have we been talking for?
I don't know.
Hour and a half. Yeah.
Oh, quite a long one.
Yeah. Thanks for.
Not for us.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Chris, do you want to plug yourselves?
My Instagram pretty much is just at KhifieWest _ and YouTube is just Khifie West. That's really the main two that I use. Instagram, I'm on like near enough 24 hours of the day. So it's probably the biggest one. Even at that, I just post random shit. But apart from that, nah. Instagram's probably the main one.
Cool. And Liam?
Yeah, got a YouTube channel just called Liam Turnbull, but Instagram is just Liam Turnbull GB, and the Linktree link has everything anyway. So
get that video to 1 million. Let's get to 1 million.
What? The transformation. We're at 850k. We'll get there.
That's insane. Wow. That's sick.
It's proper died at the moment though.
Oh,
it goes through stages. It's literally like that. And then when it goes up, I'm like, oh, money. And then I'm like, oh no, poverty.
Well, gyms are going to open, so everyone's going to be watching all those fucking transformation videos. It'll be fine.
I've had a few big ones, haven't I? That Zanti video, do you remember?
That was sick. I like that video.
I've had a few videos that have done well.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, definitely go check out these guys. Check out Liam's YouTube. Check out Khifie's YouTube. Thank you for listening and or watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.